welcome to the Dirt Trail Running Podcast. My name is Michelle Hartwig, and I am your host. I am also a race director for many Midwest trail races like the Hennepin 100, Kettle Moraine 100, and Midwest States 100 coming in 2021. And I am here with my co-host tonight, Crystal the Pistol.
Hey, the heavens are shining down on me again, apparently. I cover them up. Hello, everybody. Oh, it's back.
Yeah, that's a good look for you.
Oh, thanks. Yes, so angelic.
So I'm excited about tonight's show. Uh, so on the Hennepin 100 training page, we got to know Ryan Steiner, and he is from Indiana. And Ryan at one time weighed 700 plus pounds, and he made a healthy lifestyle for himself. And we just got to watch him finish his 50K for Hennepin, even though we were canceled because of COVID. He still went and ran a 50K. He ran it in and looked so good. We are so proud of you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty psyched about it. I know everyone talking about running, so now people want to talk to me about it.
Well, you're inspiring everybody because it's hard for all of us, like it's like, oh, I know I could be a better runner if I could lose, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. I mean, I can't even imagine, like what got you, like we're looking at you going, man, you have got the mental mindset. How did you do this?
Well, I mean, I lost a lot of weight before I really started running. Like, but I, it's always been a battle, like addicted to food. So I always fell back into it, and I really had to look at it like this is an addiction. So I need something that fulfills me in the same way. And losing enough weight and eating a little bit less so you can run a 5K is pretty easy to still do on a crap diet. And I knew that running it, every time I did it made me feel good. And so then I was watching a show, and some guy said he ran an ultra marathon. I'm like, what is that? And I I looked it up, and I was like, oh, so endurance. Well, I've endured a lot. and, and so I thought, well, I mean, these people are running at a really slow pace, really, compared to, I mean, I feel like I can do this, like, compared to, like, I felt like I wasn't fair competition, I suppose, like, even with myself to run a 5K. So I was like, what do I got to do? And so I just
So from
got
the very how long did it take you to lose 700? Like how much weight did you lose?
well, okay, so I was 700 plus pounds, and I lost a whole lot of weight, and then I started to gain it back after my daughter was born, because she has special needs, and we were at Riley Hospital. And when you're a sad parent of a NICU baby, people go, "Here's cake." Um, and I said, "Oh yes, I need this for my emotions." And so I had gained back up to about 350 pounds when I was taking care of her and decided I had to be physically fit to handle the physical demands of her. And that's when I really dug in. And I as vegan as I can be, as a person who loves cheese. And I severed that tie to food. I eat to fuel my running, and that's it. Like I it I want to eat something when I'm emotional before, and now I want to go for a run.
Yeah, I've read that you absolutely love running. Yeah, and I
I,
could
I
tell,
actually,
like
I
you,
actually
without a
fractured
doubt.
my foot preparing for this, and still, I took so long off to heal my foot. Finally, I was just like, look, I'm going. My foot feels better. I'm just doing this because I need it. And so my foot is only 5 weeks out from being fractured now, but I had to do it because it makes me feel full in a way that food used to.
That is fantastic. It looks like you might be a musician as well. I see all
No,
this music stuff behind you.
my wife is a music therapist, and
Oh.
because of COVID, she's a doing all music therapy over the internet. So
Oh, that's cool.
this is her therapy room.
So you're vegan. My daughter is a vegan as well, or you said you're a vegan as much as you can
Vegetarian
be.
as much
Okay.
as I can. I can't pass cheese.
So, like, when you started on your weight loss journey, how did you go about researching and deciding? Because like being a vegan, you gotta make sure you have enough protein and stuff, and
Yeah.
plus you're an athlete.
Oh, thank you. That's so great to hear. You're an athlete. um, I mean, like, I guess not to be cliche in the running community, but I read Born to Run and got obsessed with different diets, and I tried them out because for me, like, ultra running is not just that day of the run, but like planning what you're going to eat. And so it adds this like level of planning to my entire life that I really love the structure of. So I tried out a lot of things. I watched a lot of documentaries, and I just, as a stay-at-home parent in my downtime, I just study everything I can about how the body works. And there's a lot to support a vegan diet to reverse a lot of the damage. And trust me, I damaged myself a lot. People are like, your knees after carrying all that weight. Okay, well, I'm going to be 40 this year. I'm going to use the hell out of my knees until they're gone because I haven't lived like this. I wish that I knew. I wish someone had been like, go for a run, just do it. Because I will have fallen in love, but no one. It was never the solution when I was younger. It was here, go eat this cake.
So, as a child, did you play sports or anything?
No, I have autism, and so I had a really hard time, and I spent most of my time hiding in corners and stuff. It was really hard to make friends, and running has done that too. So
Well, I mean, I like hanging out with you. We haven't known each other for very long. How does the autism, like, how is that something you've grown to deal with? Like, why was that a problem for you?
I think that autistic people, as they get older, they seem a lot more adjusted because they learn how to please the neurotypical people around them. And so I'm really good at holding in and being normal, but I do a lot of rocking, a lot of flapping, and I make a lot of noises and things like that. The more anxious I get, like it's really great that I can have my lower half of my body be real tense on here, so it helps. Kids aren't really receptive to that. So even though I was smart, I did a lot of weird stuff along with it, and kids are mean. But running, at the end of a run, you meet other runners and you're talking to them, and I've exerted all that energy that's built up. So it's like great. And Temple Grandin, a really popular autistic person, said to find a social group that has organized activities that is of your special interest. So I joined running groups, and I run at the back of packs, and I tell people about how I'm doing this because I want to get smaller so I can be healthy and take care of my daughter. And I run with her. I do a lot of the running groups. I push her while I'm running. And I tell them that I'm learning to make friends so people are nice to me. And so I've learned a lot just because of running. And so it's a lot easier for me now to hold it together.
So you're inspiring all kinds of groups. So, I mean, I've got friends with us autistic kids, and they worry about them, you know, socializing with
Yeah.
everybody. When do you think it started to turn around for you? Like, how can what would you want to say to somebody that is watching this and worried about their children, or the children are watching it?
Oh, I mean, it started to turn around for me when I took that advice instead of trying to make friends with everybody. I made specific friends who
Okay.
also enjoyed running. And I was 35. um, but because I know that, I try to tell a lot of people, the sooner you do that, the better. My daughter is also autistic, and so we like want to get her involved in things, which is why I run with her. And like we're going to do a triathlon or whatever we can do together so that she feels included. And the more you include them, even when they don't seem like, the more that she doesn't seem like she wants to be included, the more we include her, the more she wants to be included. And so that worked for me even when I was 35. So
Yeah, that's great. I don't know about Crystal, but I mean, I think that I found myself also with running, so I think that's something that all
Mhm.
of us can relate to. And is finding, like that's a great advice for anybody, is finding a group that does something that you enjoy doing. I love that. Like, I've never
Mhm.
thought about that before, but that is absolutely amazing advice.
and runners in the running community are so nice. Like people say things like, "You're oh, you go running? Aren't runners mean?" And I mean, I've posted about being heavy, and I've had a couple people like laugh at it, but no one's been mean, no one's anything. And when I'm out there running, I've never encountered a mean runner. I just see people and they're like, good job," when they see me running. And so like the more fit I feel, the more then I run by people who look like they're struggling, and I've started going, good job. So they've modeled that for me. So then I get it, like how it helps everybody. Like
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, it builds our confidence. And a confident society is a happy society. So we
and
should all be lifting each other up.
positive goals too, like especially when times are hard, goals that are just positive for yourself, like things that you just do for you. And that,
How
like,
long
I
did
feel like no matter who you are, you can benefit from running if you're capable, physically capable.
How long do you see yourself running for? Is that something that's the life of the rest of your life?
I mean, one of the things that I read in my studies was that a man's running peak is in his 60s. So I'm a long time.
Mhm.
The sky's the limit. I'm about to turn 40, and my friend said, "Oh no, are you ready for that?" I'm like, I'm more than ready. It's the second half, and this one's going to be epic." So, I mean, as long as my feet and legs will carry me, I'm
And how long have you been running so far? How long have you been on this healthy journey?
Well, I actually met my wife because we both lost weight and we're into running, and then that was 6 years ago. And then after my daughter was born, we both took a while off of it, and so it's been a year and a half that I've been training for the ultra. My goal is to do 100
Oh,
Hennepin.
good. I hope you do,
Yes.
Hennepin.
Oh,
Oh, I love to
absolutely.
hear that.
I asked,
Yes.
it was my, when I started all this, I was like, I'm going to do a 100-mile race. And then I actually retracted to the 50K. So like, I've been obsessed with the Hennepin, and I like have been wanting to do that as my first 100 um, the whole time. Like day one, a year and a half ago, when I was like, I'm going to be an ultra runner, and people laughed at me. I tried barefoot running for a long time. I finally got cushioned soles when I broke my foot and did the 50K in shoes and lost a toenail because of it. Thank you.
Yeah, Crystal's first 100 was Hennepin.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
It's great. Oh, do it. If you do the 100 there, we will be there for you. Absolutely. You can count on having a good crew, a good support. It's seriously one of the coolest races. I
Yeah,
love it.
I mean, I love like watching the videos and checking it out and everything.
Yeah, what attracted you to, like, is that the kind of trail that you like to run on? What attracted you to it?
the ultra virgin shirt.
The cherry pop shirt.
Yes.
You and I had an email conversation actually about whether or not because after I posted about the weight loss, a whole bunch of people hit me up and they're like, come do mine, come do mine. Everybody wants me to do their race now. And I was like, oh, no, I want this shirt. I need this shirt. So I actually emailed you because I was like, no, Hennepin has to be my first. It has to be. So if I do this virtual race, do I still get my virgin shirt when I cross the finish line in person? And you're like, yeah. So we've had a conversation about it. Actually, it was definitely the draw. I like that.
I do remember the conversation. I hadn't associated it with the Facebook post at the time. That's so cool. Yeah. What
It's
kind?
a good shirt.
Sorry.
It's a comfy shirt. And you know what's funny is I ran the 50 miler at Hennepin in 2017, and then in 2018 I ran the 100 miler. But the ultra virgin shirt was 2018, I think. So I was like, what? I ran this ultra and I didn't get a shirt, but I got it the next year. So it's a good shirt.
Because it is distance PR. So in case anybody listening doesn't know, so we have a cherry pop shirt. So if you pop your ultra cherry at the Hennepin, like you can be your first 50K, then you can come up the next year, get your first 50-mile cherry pop shirt. The next year, do your first hundreds. So there's lots of incentive. I think that, when you're doing your first of something, you deserve some extra incentive, and we want to encourage people for that. I see Kaylee walking around back there.
Yeah, she's doing homework and starting to get ready for bed, but I had to my phone's plugged in, so I had to move it to the side of the desk. So now you can see like this section of the apartment. So you just see her walking back and forth all the time. That's Kaylee, everybody. If you listen, you know Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee. She knows she's on the show now.
I know. Yep.
So you talked a little bit about your family, Ryan. So you've got a wife and you have a daughter. We want to hear all about them.
My wife, Amanda, she's a music therapist. She's pretty awesome, I think.
And how'd you guys meet?
Well, we were the only two people not drinking with our friends at a bar. And we had both been on a weight loss journey, and we just really hit it off. And we were married in less than a year, and baby on the way.
So for part of your weight loss journey, does that include not drinking?
No, I just was at the end of a college summer that I was ready to be done with.
Okay.
So I don't really, I have a beer every now and then, but I don't really drink now, but that summer I did. And
okay.
I guess it was just lucky that I wasn't and she didn't. So.
Oh, that's cool. Was that in Indiana that you guys met?
Yeah. Laughing at our friends in my hometown, actually, because she went to college in my hometown. So she had met her friends there and we met.
That's great.
And we have a little girl. Her name is Kala. She's the little picture on my back in your Facebook thing. She was born at 23 weeks. She's was 1 pound 5 ounces when she was born, and she has cerebral palsy, autism. She's 5. Well, she'll be 5. My wife's gonna kill me for that. She'll be 5 on November 8th.
Oh my gosh, 5 is such a milestone for. Oh my gosh, turning 5 is like winning the lottery for kids. It's so exciting for them to turn 5 because they're a full hand. That's what I always tell my preschool class. You're a full hand now.
She'll definitely get a little bit of running stuff for her birthday because that's what we do together. She's nonverbal. She's my whole day, every day is just to cater to her and teach her stuff and stuff like that. So we run together so that she can get out of the house. She loves to move, and I kind of had got to a breaking point because I have to move. I do a lot of pacing and rocking, and I bounce on an aerobic ball. And she wanted me to hold her the whole time because she wanted that sensation too. And I was like, I got to get more fit because I can't do this. And so she's been there with me the whole time running. I twit around in the beginning of writing a book and call it Running with Kala.
You should. Oh my gosh. That I would read that. Yes, you should totally do that.
It started out for her, and it very quickly became for me.
That's awesome.
That's her. She's I also bucket list of running. That's the other reason for the hennepin is that it's flat, and in that picture of me with her on my back, that thing can hold her until she's 110 pounds. And so I'd like to let her see things that she might not normally get to see because she's in a wheelchair. So I make running friends that'll run with me, and I want to run the 100 with her on my back.
Oh my
gosh.
Years from now, we're practicing in her endurance too, because it takes a lot for her to just ride in the stroller thing I have. But I have all kinds of different things to put her in and adapt the hiking and running world for her, because my wife and we love hiking. I proposed to her on a trail. So.
Oh, that's sweet. Now, not if, when you do the Hennepin 100, will you just carry her in the pack on your back the whole time, or will you switch it up with the stroller and the pack?
Probably switch it up with a stroller and the pack so that she can get a break.
Yeah.
But I want her to have both views of it, because she really, like, when there's other runners, like I said, she's nonverbal, so we do a lot of stuff trying to get her engaged. She doesn't really like to look up towards anyone, but when she sees other people's legs running and stuff, she gets to rocking and she's like, ah! And so I want her to have that view on my back of things.
Yeah, make sure you talk to us about that. Every once in a while, there might be like a little washout in the trail, so I want to make sure you can get through. Yeah. It's totally open and clear now, but there has been a time where it might have been a little rough at one spot for you. I don't know what the stroller can go over.
It's a beast. It's got huge wheels. And on the videos for it, people are taking it up the side of mountains and stuff like that. So I don't really know what it can't do yet. But yeah, that's
wash out. You could just go right over that.
Well, in the carrier, like I would throw her on my back, like switch with my wife. Like, well, we're gonna do the next 20 with her on my back or whatever. So.
That is amazing. I cannot wait to hand you your belt buckle when you finish for that.
I dream about that. Like sometimes when I'm tired on the treadmill, because sometimes I have to run late at night because she hasn't given me the opportunity, because sometimes we can't. She just can't handle leaving to go do it. And so I have to do it on the treadmill late at night, and I like daydream about crossing the line and getting my belt buckle and stuff.
Oh, that is so
goals. Keeps me going. Big goals. Goals that people thought were funny. They don't think they're so funny now. They're like,
because we know you're gonna do it. We know you're gonna be successful.
Thank you. I know it too. At this point, I know it too.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Oh yeah, Scott Naylor says, "Oh, you'll do the 100." Do you know Scott?
No.
He's just one of your fans. And, speaking of, we got to see video of your 50K. I'm guessing, who was all there? Like, how did you plan your route for that?
Well, we're in the process of buying a house that's on the trail that I ran on. I was running on it the other day, and I was like, "Man, we should do 100 here." But it's when I first said that, when I first posted that the race was canceled, people were like, hey, you should just do a self-supported. And I was like, because I wanted that whole experience, and I finally was like, I was gonna go to a state park and get a campsite and like start in the middle of the night and do it all authentic for the 50K experience. But then finally I settled on, I really wanted to be able to see my daughter at each spot where I like met with my wife and got some food and refilled my water and did all that. I wanted to be able to see her because there wasn't any way I was physically ready to push her that far. And so I just was like, at first I was going to go out and back on the trail. And then people, they don't really understand how far 50K is when you tell them you're doing a 50K. They think you messed up and you meant 5K.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, okay. So I didn't want the map to be out. I didn't want it to be a 1 or 2 mile out and back. So I ran from the town I live in to the town over so that I could be like, so that people who didn't understand how far 50K was, they would be like, what? You ran to Kokomo and back? I mean, you could call some of it running. By the end, I was like barely walking. And
I saw you finish. It looked like you were doing a lot more than barely walking.
Mm-hmm. I saw it too. Don't even try to act like you weren't running. I saw you finish.
At mile 26, my wife told some strangers to cheer for me, and so they did, and that made me feel a little bit better because I had a blister. I knew that my toenail was coming off, and I was like, oh my gosh, 5 more miles, 5 more miles. And so I did. I walked really slow for a little while, and then my book on tape ended, and I turned the music on, and suddenly I was filled with this new life. And so that's what was the last 2 miles. I kept having to stop and, I mean, not stop running, but like,
Yeah.
cry. Because I knew at 2 miles that I was going to be able to, no matter what, I could make myself do that. So.
Oh, I love that.
I read in one in the one of the trail and ultra running groups I'm in on Facebook, someone said that if it hurts to run and it hurts to walk, run. So I was like, well, it hurts to do both. So it actually hurt less to run. I found out. So
yeah, I hear people say that sometimes.
So I did. I had rested a little bit before I finished, but I wanted to finish strong.
Yeah, I love that part
And
when
you
you're
did.
getting towards the end, and like, when did you know you were going to be able to finish that? Like, what mile were you at when you realized it was like, this is happening. I'm good at this.
Well, really, I didn't put those videos up, but my wife took a video at each stop she met me. She met me every 10 miles. And for about the first 20, I was pretty arrogant. I was like, that didn't even hurt. And then
you were trained. Training works.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I definitely trained. Like, people don't just go do that if you're overweight. I trained a lot, and I had to overcome a lot of doubt. But by the time I overcame that doubt, I was ready. And so between 20 and 26 is when I actually started to feel that doubt again. It was hard. I would run for maybe 30 seconds and then limp. I was putting a lot of weight on trekking poles because my feet just didn't want to move. And then after that 26 point, I didn't have a choice. So am I going to crawl or am I going to run? And then when I had 2 miles left, and I knew like I can run 2 miles. I can run 2 miles no matter how tired I am. So here we go. And the only thing that was slowing me down was that I kept knowing that, and that knowing feeling is something I don't know that I've ever felt. I mean, you guys, you've completed these long distances, you know that knowing inside yourself that like it fills you. And so I just like choke up because I'm a pretty emotional guy. So it was great.
Do you remember a time, when you didn't know that you could run 2 miles. Like, look at how far you've came. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely know a time I didn't know it. The first time I ran a whole mile without stopping was actually when I met my wife, and we'd just been dating for a little while, and she had taken up running already. And she was like, "Come on, you bicycle all the time. You can do this. You can do this." And I chased her like I was barely standing. And we stopped at the CVS to grab some water, and she was like, "Just so you know, that was 2 miles."
So your first time running 1 mile, you actually did 2?
Consecutively, like, run a little, walk a
Nice.
little. I wanted to run, like, but I had lost all that weight, and I didn't know yet that my body could do that. So I really wanted to, but I would go. I would run, then walk a little, run. She was like, "You've got this."
Go wife. So
Right.
on your
Right.
virtual run, what did you learn? Because every time you do these long runs, the purpose for them is to help you get ready for going a little bit farther. And so what did you learn on that?
I learned that I absolutely love peanut butter, pickles, and sriracha. Um,
All together? So like
yeah, and
one sandwich?
Oh.
I cut them into little
Ooh.
fourths, and I was like, I could really use a fanny pack. I didn't have one, so I put a little bag over me, and I packed it full of food because I was planning on not being virtual, and it was my first. So I learned that if your shoe rubs the top of your toe, you will get injured at that distance. um,
So like it wasn't a good fitting shoe? Is that what it was, or?
So I'm really into as minimal as I can get because I like the input and the training to my brain. So I did a lot of barefoot running, and then I moved on to zero shoes. And then I fractured my fifth metatarsal, and I bought some ultras because I thought that would be the biggest toe box for me, and the toe box was just so roomy that the top of the shoe kind of folded over and rubbed my toe just right.
Ah.
So I loved the shoes, but that so I definitely will figure that out and continue.
What about taping your feet? Do you do that at all?
I did. I didn't know I needed to tape my toenail, but I do. I have been practicing, trying to not get blisters and take care of places that get blisters ahead of time. But
Have you tried the toe socks?
I did. I love those a lot.
Yeah.
I even did the
They are cool.
toe shoes.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you would like a Genji's and toe shoes just go together.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Well, you talked about the food, the sriracha pickle, and it sounds like a pregnant person's craving. So does that mean like at our aid stations now we gotta like get a bunch of sriracha for next year?
I put sriracha on everything.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that Ryan would not be the only one using the sriracha because people love their sriracha.
They do. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I'm surprised that it didn't make you upset to your stomach.
No, the gels did.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yep.
real food is better.
Yeah.
It seems like to me. Although some of the gels are very natural and real food, but there's tends to be a lot of sugar in them, which makes it hard.
I kind of alternated back and forth between like I'm still definitely trying to figure things out, what works for me. I was worried that I'd eat too much. My wife was worried that I wouldn't eat enough. I calculated it meticulously and then I ate not even half of it.
Yeah, you talked about being, somewhat addicted to food and going to that, but now you're addicted to, obsessed with the running. Do you still like is it pretty easy for you to maintain your day? Do you have like a schedule, like, okay, every day for breakfast I do this and I don't snack here? Like, is there some sort of schedule that other people listening can do to help follow and get in a ritual?
I mean, I'm always trying to better it. It's always being tweaked. But a lot of times, the best thing for me is I do a lot of intermittent fasting because if I'm not putting something in my mouth, then I'm not losing control. And so I get the calories that I need in one brief period during the day, and then back to that. But I try to make sure I'm drinking enough water, and I drink a protein shake and do things like that. But try not to hand to mouth, but one period during the day. But it's a big meal. I mean, I'm big. I gotta have enough calories to run. But then I'm kind of feeding that old issue with really good food. So like I don't make bad choices. Don't get me wrong. It's not a big meal of McDonald's. It's tonight was roasted potatoes and roasted sweet potatoes and lots of vegetables. And
Ooh, that sounds good.
With sriracha?
yeah,
With sriracha.
never anything without sriracha.
Do you think that being a vegan makes you crave spicy foods more?
I think that I definitely, yeah. You get you get that full hearty feeling that you might get from eating meat, I guess, because that's the thing that I miss is that there is a texture missing, but you can feed that with another sense, like another sensory experience. So set myself on fire, and then the meal is delicious.
Yeah. Is your wife and daughter, are they vegan as well?
My daughter is actually G-tube fed.
Okay.
We actually, when I became vegan, we read the back of her G-tube food. It does have chicken, so she's not. Because I was like, I wonder if it will work for her. Because a lot of my diet and vitamins and things that I take were part of making my body and everything better in terms of the autism as well. So I do all that. So we thought about that for her, but my wife, no, she's not vegan. I'm the cook because I'm the stay-at-home parent, and so I actually cook meat for her every night and then I just toss it on top of whatever I've made. Here's some meat on top of this delicious vegetarian meal I've made.
Do you miss, like, I don't know, like my daughter's vegan, so she would not be able to make the meat because it's like disgusting to her. Like she's vegan because it just doesn't feel right to eat meat, but it sounds like you might have liked it. That sounds, are you just a really nice husband and like going, ooh, and
great husband. I think that it depends on what your reasoning for being vegan or vegetarian is and why. So for me, it's about the best fuel as an athlete, in my opinion. Throw that in there because, in my opinion, so I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother me. I mean, sustainability matters to me, and so I'm ahead of the game when things, So I think about it from that perspective, but I don't really care about to cook it. I'm a really good cook, so I like to food love people still. I just like to food love people healthier.
Yeah. What's your favorite meal to cook?
I kind of made up this meal very recently, and it's really winning some people right now. So it's a cabbage beer soup.
Ooh.
So what's that like? That sounds delicious.
So it's for everyone else. It has turkey sausage in it. For me, just then peppers and cabbage and beer.
That sounds good. Sriracha.
It's very simple. It's so simple, but just it's delicious.
Oh, I love cabbage. That sounds
Mhm.
fantastic.
And jalapenos and green pepper and some little potatoes. Like I like the little ones that you can leave whole and come in all different colors because it's pretty in the pan. But that's my favorite.
Yeah, you really are a great husband.
Mhm.
I wish I'd come home and my husband made me some good cabbage soup.
Oh.
My wife's a workaholic, so I have to love her the way I can. So
Yeah.
it's delicious food.
Well, it's great that you're able to be a stay-at-home dad. Obviously, your daughter needs that.
Yeah.
And how wonderful for her to have someone that loves her and caring for her and helping her be the best, version of herself like you are.
I can hear my wife out here chuckling, and I'm wondering if she's listening, and that's why she's laughing. He gets his ego stroked about how good of a dad he is all the time. So she's my world. She's my absolute world. I never would have thought that stay-at-home dad was going to be where my life went, but I can't imagine it any other way.
I cannot wait to meet both of you, all three of you, your wife and your daughter, all in person.
I know it's going to be great.
So what are you going to do between now and Hennepin next year? You're not too far away. Come check out the course.
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be doing the Run Your Ass Off series.
Oh, yeah. Freeze your ass off. Oh, no, that's something else. So, yeah, so
No,
Frozen Gnome
yeah.
and...
Man, Frozen Gnome was on my birthday last year. I wanted to do it so bad. So yeah, no, I'm probably that's the plan for this. I want to do some timed endurance races just to allow myself to like be easy and not stressing about the end of it. So probably both of them that you do, just because I like to keep things simple.
Yeah, well, we do. Galena Sky is a timed event that we have. Absolutely gorgeous area. It'd be great for your family.
Is that the one on the ski slope?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That is such a fun weekend, and
It is a fun weekend, and I've done both the 4 hour and the 8 hour, and it's just so much fun, and it's so pretty, and the weather's usually pretty good. You would love it, absolutely love it.
And it's great for your family because they could actually sit out on the deck and watch you run by every 3 miles, or they could go sit inside at the restaurant and watch you go by every three, or out there and cheer for you. So
keep selling it, keep on.
yeah.
Any race you can get my wife to let me do, I'm down.
Yeah, I do we do for Ornery Mule Racing, we do try to make all of our races very crew friendly, very family friendly. Like Hennepin is we try to make it as easy as possible to get around with good directions between stuff. And Galena's a great just hang out with your whole like I get to relax at Hennepin. I'm sorry, at Galena Sky. Like we danced for 8 hours straight. It was pouring down rain and lightning, and we were just out there jamming.
That's great. Yeah, no, that's on my list of.
Oh, good. Yeah, I thought you were talking about we're going to have a virtual freeze your ass off for this winter to help keep people moving. And Leslie, our great artist that did this one right here. She's working on a cool mule for our freeze your ass off series, but I thought that's what you were referring to at first.
Well, I thought I guess I overlook things on the website, and so I hadn't noticed the Run Your Ass Off, and I was like, I need this belt buckle. Look, it's a belt buckle before 100. Okay, I need this.
It's your stepping stone.
Yeah. So that's I was like, I already have. I mean, I have the Hennepin next year, in October. And then I have the 500 Festival half marathon here in Indiana.
Yeah.
I did a running group last year that races that, but it was canceled because of COVID. So we all got entry into next year. So those are the two that I already have that are definite.
Oh, that's great.
Next year.
Well, we look forward to having you in the Run Your Ass Off series. Frozen Gnome, I'm going to need to send you an early invite because it could sell out as soon as we open up registration.
I've been watching it.
Because we normally have about 500 runners, and we probably are only going to be able to have like 50 or 100. So I have a feeling that it could sell out pretty fast. So I'll make sure you're on our list on our we have a list that you can sign up for on ornerymuleracing.com so that you'll get an early invite.
Okay.
But I'll make sure you get a little bit earlier one since you took all this time to be on the show with us.
Oh, awesome. Well, this was great. I love talking about running and races and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we have a stubborn, the Ornery Mule Stubborn 5. But first, before we do that, was there something else that you wanted to share with us? I want to make sure we covered all about. I mean, I know we didn't cover all about you, but did we miss anything big?
No, I just really wanted to tell everybody about my daughter. That was my one.
Oh, I love it.
She's my like she's the reason I run.
Yeah, Crystal has a
That's
daughter
so
too
sweet.
and I mean I do too. I have a daughter and a son, so we completely understand the love for kids, and you're inspiring her, and I mean, how lucky is she?
All right, so we have these. They're called the Untitled Mule Stubborn 5. So it's just 5 questions that you can answer however you want, and I change them up depending on who we're interviewing. So your first question is, what's one thing about you that people may not know?
I'm such an open book. I share everything, so that's a hard one. I'm not as mean as I look.
I think you look
You
very
don't
nice.
look mean. Oh my gosh, no. And I love your hat, by the way.
I'm a big ball of emotion. Like, I love everything. I guess that's the thing that most people don't know about me, is that if I look tense, it's not because I'm mad, it's because I just love everything.
I can see that because my husband, like, a lot of times people think he's kind of grouchy, and he's not. Like, right, Crystal? Like, but he can kind of come off as looking kind of tough. Like, there's been people that are afraid of him, and he's like the nicest, like, happiest person in the world.
Oh, someone afraid of Royal. That's funny. He's so nice.
So you asked me earlier on in the show if I knew Scott, and it, like, the connection wasn't there, and I do know who you're talking about, but like, it just now I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, being on a show, like, knowing you're on a live show, sometimes, like, I'll just forget my kid's name or something. So no, I totally understand that. So Scott, sorry about that, dude.
He knows you, Scott. All right. The second question is, what were your first pair of running shoes?
My first pair of running shoes. Oh my gosh, what were they? I was obsessed with them. I needed them. I wish that my wife was yelling the answer right now.
Quick, yell the answer. Tell them.
I don't know. The first pair of running shoes since I started running ultras was Zero shoes, so I'll go with that.
I can tell you that
works.
Crystal's probably obsessed with your hat right now.
Oh my gosh, I am like dying over this hat.
I love Tim Burton.
Oh, I know, us too. We're obsessed with Tim Burton movies. We watch them all year round. Like, forget it. Oh no, not just for Halloween. We are watching Corpse Bride all year long.
My wife has told me they're Skechers, and she said Skechers. And now I remember they were the Skechers Go Runs. They were so
Oh,
nice.
okay. Yep.
Loved those things.
Go wife.
Thank you. All right. The third question is, do you when you take your daughter running, where is her favorite place to run, or your favorite place to take her running?
The Nickel Plate Trail.
Okay. And what's that like?
It's part of I don't the trail that they're building like across the whole U.S. that's like interconnecting all these rail trails.
Mhm.
So it's the rail trail that goes through the towns here near us, and it's just gorgeous. It's almost all of it is woods, but it's paved. So she gets all that experience of being enclosed in the woods,
That's awesome.
Did you know the Hennepin Canal is part of that trail that's going all across? It's the canal part of it is. There's a north and south version, so I'm not that it goes. I don't know if part of that ends up in Indiana, but man, that sounds like a journey. That's a good goal for you. Do that whole trail.
I've already
Oh.
like me and my daughter on a journey together to raise awareness for autism. I daydream about stuff like that all day.
You should
That'd
do
be
that.
amazing.
Ornery Mule Racing will sponsor you. I'll tell you.
It's a cool trail though. Like I love that. I love all the rail trails. Like, I mean, I never would have thought, oh, let me go find this paved trail as much as I love hiking. But now I have to think about wheels. So.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. All right, question number 4 is, who was the biggest influence in your life? Who influenced you?
And I know that you're going to ask me this, and I've pondered it, but still haven't.
That's okay.
I mean, we're going to go there. My daughter, like, because I wouldn't have wanted to do all this if it wasn't for wanting to be able to care for her.
Yeah, you're going to be
That's
around for a
amazing.
long time.
Okay, I'm okay. Okay. All right, question number 5 is, what is your favorite treat for a job well done?
It's going to be weird, and it's totally new, like the last 3 weeks, but I'm slamming them back. But I never knew that dates were not an old people food. But
oh my gosh, yes, I love dates.
Because, like I said, I make positive choices. I mean, part of me wants to be like, okay, but dates. My wife looks at me like I'm crazy because I'll cut a watermelon in half and sit down with it, like. Positive choices.
Yep.
So
oh my gosh, no joke about dates. Dates are so good.
So
good.
They're pure sugar. The nature's caramels. Okay. Someone said that. They're like, they're nature's caramels, and I was like, sold.
No, they're way better. Put a walnut in them.
I did. I packed it full of pecans.
Yeah.
Like down in there perfectly.
That's a good idea.
No, I did pack some dates with pecans in them in my little pouch the day that I did the 50K. So, but they stayed down there. They weren't yummy when they were warm.
Yeah, sometimes when you're out there, you are hungry for something different than everything you've ever trained for. Did you have any of those experiences?
I mean, everything I brought, the only thing that I really liked, and I practiced a lot of food. I like food. I have to learn what I can eat while I'm running. How fun is that? And then everything I practiced, I was just like, I don't want that. I even as a just brought a bag of chips, and I didn't even want that.
Yeah, race day has a way of making your appetite go away. I don't know what it is. But you need to eat. You're fueling your body.
That's why I resorted to gels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just do it. Get it down.
Oh, yep.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else? I want to make sure you've shared everything anything you wanted to share.
Thank you.
Yeah, we loved your story, your daughter, your wife. Thank you so much. There's so many things from this show I'm going to go and think about now. Like, sriracha and peanut butter at aid stations. Yeah.
Don't forget the pickles. The pickles are necessary.
Pickles.
Yeah,
the pickles are the base.
Forgot, yeah.
Yep.
Pickles at all aid stations. But yeah, we really learned a lot. I super appreciate you taking the time. You did fantastic on the show, and you're inspiring people all over the world. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. You're very inspirational. I'd say I'm feeling very inspired by you, and I just love the relationship you have with your daughter. If people that are listening probably know my relationship with my daughter, we're very close, and she's the world to me. So I can totally understand, how you feel about her. So it's just so heartwarming. I love it.
I like that.
And we wanted to also let everybody know about our show tomorrow night, which is a little different. We don't normally do a Wednesday show, but we're having Kyle Burgess on, and he is the person that the video went viral of that cougar mama. Speaking about mamas and their babies, this cougar mama did not want him around her babies at all. And so we're going to get to hear the story from him. We got, 45 minutes to an hour show to hear. That looks so scary. Absolutely unbelievable.
I terrified my wife with it last night.
I couldn't believe it. And I've seen a mountain lion when I was on the trail. And I really wasn't that afraid of him because it didn't really pay that much attention to me, but now I think I'm going to be more I got new respect for how mean they are.
Yeah, that was terrifying. She loved her baby.
Well, that's a mama protects their babies. I'm the same way.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. And let's see, what else do we got here, Crystal?
Oh, thank you, Loretta, Coach Loretta, for setting everything up for us. You are a godsend. Thank you.
She keeps our brains organized.
It's true, yeah. She's always reminding me of things, and I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I forgot about that.
And she's so nice too when she does everything. It's like you're so happy, like, oh, Loretta said to do it, okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Loretta.
Yes, thanks, Loretta. And thank you, Royal, for being the technology guru. Just lean over and wave. Can I just see your hand, Royal? Just wave. a foot, wave a hat. Something.
He's laughing. That's me.
So thank you, Royal. And come be a Patreon for us. Go to our Facebook page, the Dirt Trail Running Podcast Facebook. The link is there for Patreon. Come love us. We're awesome. And also leave us 5-star reviews on iTunes. 5-star. I hope you guys heard me because I said 5-star reviews on iTunes. Thank you.
Yeah, and we keep the camera rolling, so when we get off of the live, we talk for a little bit longer. And sometimes we relax a little bit, and we usually find some more dirt on who we're talking about. So that will be on our Patreon page for just our patrons to listen to. I think that's it.
That's
really
it.
Good. So thank you everyone for listening. We really appreciate all the downloads. It's been fantastic. We work very hard.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so nice when people enjoy what we're doing, and it's so nice to help people get to meet people like Ryan and help grow our community. So thank you.
And thank you, Ryan, so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't leave yet. We got our behind the scenes dirt here. But bye to all of our listeners right now.
Bye.